acceptance. Altruism, definitely. Starlight, good morning. Come in.
Sorry I'm late. I got a little turned around. I still can't believe you're letting me stay here as your pupil.
I bloody knew it! Hello everybody, my name is Freedom Flash and today I will be giving an overinflated opinion on the Season 6 premiere. And right off the bat I have something to talk about because I have been saying that Starlight Glimmer will become Twilight's first student since the Season 5 finale, and I find this appealing for two reasons. Number one, adding a new student character will give the show a boost in the same way as standard side character would, but with actual prolonged character progression. Number two, it continues Twilight's character arc. She started off as a student, graduated to become equal with a teacher, and now she's become a teacher on her own right. Let's continue.
Why don't you join the others in the throne room? They're planning our trip to the Crystal Empire when Shining Armor and Princess Cadance have their baby.
Thank you, oh Princess of Exposition. So now Spike tries to, oh god, look at the faces! So anyway, Spike explains an event called the Crystalling to the rest of the cast using a Greek-style pot which depicts several ponies including two alicorns. Now given the similarities between the depicted ponies and the main cast, I do think that this is just a visual aid for the writers, but if you want to see it as something more, the alicorn depicted as the mother is probably Princess Amor, who was the previous ruler of the Crystal Empire before Cadance and King Sombra.
I found out that's where the first pony you ever cared about lives.
Sunburst?
Of course, that's just one idea. We could also go to Griffinstone. Making friends with a griffin is a challenge all by itself. Or we could tag along with the CNCs the next time they try to help a pony.
Remember this, it's going to be important. So skip forward to the Crystal Empire and discover that neither Shining Armor nor Cadance have slept since the baby was born, which is quite possibly the most accurate representation of parenthood I have ever seen. The upshot of which is that Twilight can't go with Starlight when she visits Sunburst to complete her friendship lesson. Then in an attempt to avoid the lesson entirely, Starlight sidetracks Spike with his fame within the Crystal Empire. And it works. God damn it, Spike. And then we go to see the baby and oh my god, it's an alicorn! That means your baby has wings, magic, and a giant laser cannon! Not to mention what this does to the whole earn your wings thing. Also, Tia, what do you mean there's never been an alicorn born in Equestria? Isn't that where you and your sister came from in the first place?
And then you might end up taking a giant step backwards instead of forwards. Maybe you'll never be able to learn anything about friendship at all. It's almost like your whole future depends on this moment.
You remember that thing Pinkie Pie did in Philly Vanilli back in Season 4? Well, this is how you do it right. Here the situation is resolved quickly and the expressions of the characters clearly show this moment as comedic. Meanwhile in Philly Vanilli, the moment comes off as aggressive and just plain out of character. So congratulations on getting that right. So they finally open the door to Sunburst's house, and can I just say how much I love this character design? I mean, look at it. It's fabulous. And once inside, they proceed to have one of the most awkward conversations in history. At this point, it's pretty obvious that both sides are skating around their past as if it's a shark pit on an ice rink, but we don't have time for that because magical baby tears, and bam, there goes your ancient relic. It's at this point I should probably mention that the Crystal Heart was the only thing stopping the Crystal Empire from becoming flippin' Arendelle. So in order to figure out how to restore the Crystal Heart and save the Empire, they do the most logical thing, which is to go to the library. In the meantime, Celestia and Luna try to hold back the storm so that wait, go back a bit. Is that Luna and Celestia being proactive about protecting their subjects? That hasn't happened since a Canterlot wedding, and we all know how that turned out. So it's nice to see some activity for a change instead of the writers just making up some reason to eliminate them from the plot like in previous episodes. So while all this is going on, negotiations have broken down between Sunburst and Starlight, because they still won't talk about their pasts. So Starlight and Spike head back to the castle, and you know what song I'm gonna play. Right, so Spike and Starlight arrive just as Cadance finds the book with the spell they need, but bam, baby laser, and there goes her ancient tome. Starlight then remembers Sunburst's talent for magical theory and goes to fetch him while Twilight tries to remember the spell. In the meantime, Shining Armor sets about evacuating the Empire in case the others can't fix the heart. And no sooner than Starlight explains the situation to Sunburst than he starts acting weird trying to get out of it. Starlight persists and Sunburst reveals that he dropped out of magic school because while he is fantastic with magical theory, he can't cast a spell to save his life, which leads to the worst breakdown in history.
Well, you don't know what it was like to be left behind. And then getting so bitter that you steal the cutie marks from an entire village, and then get defeated by Twilight and her friends. So you travel through time to get back at them, but they beat you again and teach you about friendship, but you're so terrified ponies will find out what you did that you can't make any friends!
Did you really travel through time?
Best response ever. Now, a lot of people are going to say that Starlight is just being a Sunset Shimmer 2.0, and they'd be right. But hear me out. There are a lot of members of the fandom who don't consider Equestria Girls canon, for obvious reasons. But the idea of a redeemed character is still an appealing one for the show to explore. By creating Starlight, the show has its own character to use as opposed to doing something crazy like declaring Equestria Girls canon and bringing Sunset Shimmer into the show. True, the show already has Discord, but he's an all-powerful chaos spirit which, while interesting, isn't really the most suitable for episodes based around everyday interaction with other people. Now it's time to away as Sunburst figures out how to fix the Crystal Heart, which is just as well because Twilight's spell, whilst remembered correctly, proves insufficient for the job. Sunburst instructs Twilight to combine the effects of several spells in order to fix the heart, and, with the combined efforts of 3 alicorns, a unicorn, and the Crystal Empire's unique brand of love magic, the heart is reformed and the storm banished. The day is saved, everyone is happy, and that weird crystal thing the Crystal Heart does happens again. Really? And we finish on the train station platform with Twilight and Shining's parents.
Cadence, darling. Aren't we gonna name the poor little dear, or are we gonna spend the entire visit just calling her the baby?
Okay, what? So we went through all this, and you haven't even named the baby yet? Really?
We were thinking Flurry Heart.
You know, to remember the occasion.
Well, I don't know if I'll have time for any wizarding. I'm a crystaller now. That's a big responsibility.
Okay, what? Again? A crystaller is the pony who holds up the baby during the crystalling ceremony. Your job was over when the alicorn started floating. Unless the crystaller at a royal crystalling becomes an advisor to the child later in life. Which is cool because it means that we'll probably be seeing more of Sunburst later on. But now Twilight feels bad because she wasn't really involved in Starlight's first lesson. But Spike points out that everything still worked out and that Celestia also had a habit of using the hooves off approach. While I could debate this as a teaching method, I'm more worried about the fandom's reaction to it. I fear that this may cause a lot of the criticism directed at Celestia to also be directed at Twilight. Hopefully she'll be at least a little better than Celestia in that regard. So, closing remarks. I enjoyed this episode. In fact, I think this is one of my favourite episodes thus far, and certainly my favourite two-parter. The comedy was good, the plot was believable, and it showed more respect for Celestia and Luna than previous episodes. We also love our Starlight and Sunburst are a magical yin-yang. Starlight is power and Sunburst is knowledge. If they were a power couple, they'd be virtually unstoppable. Shipped it like FedEx. Wait, what is that?